Blog Talk Radio.
Hello, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Coffee Chat with Camille. I have an entertainment guest on today, and her name is Sequoia Blue. She is a singer and a songwriter, an entertainer, as I mentioned, an entrepreneur. She's released her album, Limitless, which is available on all streaming platforms. I've listened to it, everyone. Her voice is magnificent. She also has a podcast called The Blue Alchemist Podcast and a dating card game called Dating Assassins. I'm going to interview our wonderful guest for about 25 minutes. Okay, and she's on hold, so let me let her into the studio. Okay, everyone?
Hello, everybody.
Hi, Sequoia. How are you? Welcome.
I'm doing well on this beautiful Saturday. I'm grateful to be on the show.
I'm so happy to have you. I'm absolutely thrilled. I did your introduction, and you are by far our entertainment guest. And I really enjoyed reading your bio. And I love everything you do. You're just a full creative and a business young woman as well. So I am so happy to have you. You're very welcome.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Oh, and also I have to mention this again to the audience. Her voice is amazing, amazing.
Oh,
and
thank you.
Yes, I was so delighted when I was on your website and just your world. I feel like I was in Sequoia Blue world, and it is magnificent.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you. It's like another dimension, I say.
It is so creative and beautiful, and your acting chops were just amazing as well. So I have nothing but 5-star plus from what I could see of you, and I was just like thrilled to have you on. So and also I want to thank you for being so patient. Okay, but let's get into the moment, Sequoia. I want to just ask some questions. Okay, and
sure.
One is, why did you create Dating Assassin?
So I created Dating Assassins card game because I noticed a disconnect in the dating game, and I felt like people weren't asking the right questions, when they're getting to know each other, and you get into this long relationship and you're like, oh, you were this way, and I didn't know you didn't like this, or I didn't, and some of these things could be deal breakers and some could be things you can work on, but it's important to ask the right questions. So I created a card game with 150 questions where you would ask, either a potential partner or your current partner, and these would be questions that dig deep behind the veil. So it's not just, there's some fun questions, but there's also some deep questions where we're going to figure out who you really are. And most of the time, people kind of tell themselves, too, when you ask these questions, because you can tell with body language, the way they look, how they answer a question. And I think you just learn a lot about people. So that's why I was like, I have to create this game. I interview different men and women on what they want to know. And then a lot, there goes Dating Assassins card game.
So original. Absolutely original. Love it. Next question is, you're welcome. What is abstract soul singing, I should say? Or, what is the genre? I haven't heard of it, but I love the title.
I created my own genre.
Yes.
My own genre, because I felt like there was just something missing in the entertainment industry. Like, there's some people that are like one thing, like, oh, this is R&B or this is country, and that's all you are. Like, I just feel like there's different ways an artist can be, especially if you're an artist from the core. It's just, you just never know how the song may turn out. It could turn out to be a blues soulful song, and I know my voice is soulful at the core, so I call it soul, because I just don't know which direction I'm going to go in with my music. And some people might think it's unorthodox, but it's just, music is so subjective. So I just felt like I wanted to represent something new, so other artists in the world could feel like they can come out with their art too when it's different.
Wonderful. And then I did want to know, who are your greatest influences, as singing influences? In other words, who has inspired you to be a singer?
Oh man, I had so many artists that I just grew up on. Because I started.
How about
I fell in love.
5? How about
top 5?
top 5?
Okay, let's see. Good question. That's tough because I got so many from now to back in the day. I would say, Nina Simone. I think she's just a beast. Like, she was already kind of doing like this soulful blues type vibe, and I always just fell in love with how she had this raspy, cool voice, and it just stood out, and it was just, robust and confident, and she was about social justice. So I just loved Nina Simone. So I started listening to a lot of her music. I like Mahalia Jackson. She just got this soulful voice, and she means what she's singing. She's just amazing all around with just soul, like the voice. Her voice was just amazing. So I love her. I love Donny Hathaway. Donny Hathaway is just one of those just amazing musicians. I just wish I'd learned all these instruments like he did. I mean, I might learn some, but he's just amazing, the way he sings, the way he puts things together. It's like his style. I was just like, man, okay. I started doing, I just got inspired to like write certain ways from him. And I like Stevie Wonder. I like Stevie Wonder. So many. I like Stevie Wonder. And I even liked Amy Winehouse, because I think Amy Winehouse was similar to my style as far as how it was just like, wow, when she came out, I was just impressed with her and how she's just raw and just honest with her music and her style. And those are just a few. And I've got some more.
Okay. Yeah, those are outstanding. Outstanding. I agree with your choices. Let's see. When did you start Blue Alchemist Podcast? Like, when did you start? Am I pronouncing it right? Blue Alchemist Podcast.
Yes, you did. Yep, you said it correctly.
Okay.
Okay. It was crazy because I started podcast originally, and I was actually on Blog Talk Radio, and I was interviewing guests. I was just speaking and stuff, and then I was just speaking on what I felt at the time, and I was starting to and at the time I was just so nervous about getting popular. I didn't know I was going to get popular.
Yeah.
And then 2 years ago, something told me to bring back the podcast. So then I get back into podcasting, and I started interviewing guests and stuff. I started taking it serious, I would say, in 2021, more serious. And I started interviewing guests and stuff, and then I still have my own stories that I share with the world, and I just kind of do a mix. And I said, I just have to share my piece of, like, knowledge with the world and my stories and other stories with the world so people can get different ideas of how to go about life, So, it's been, I started like 2 years ago, so it's amazing.
Wonderful. Okay. And then where do you, if you don't mind, I'm going to ask, where do you broadcast from? I mean, you don't have to tell me your, like, exact location, but just like what state are you broadcasting from?
Oh, Nevada.
Nevada. Okay. I thought so.
Yes.
Okay. All right, Nevada. Excellent. And then, let's see. How did you overcome the naysayers? The naysayers.
Oh, man.
The doubters.
Man, I had to, it took me years. I mean, I think I still did stuff in spite of what some people said, what people said about me or what I was trying to do with my music and entertainment career. But I think it was like, sometimes I think it held me back a little bit in my 20s, but kind of just fought. I kept going in a way where I felt like I've been more aggressive with it, but I think that I was in this middle ground, but I still did it anyway because music was always calling me. It's like a spiritual thing, Mm-hmm. And then I would say around the time I turned like 26 or so, I just started realizing that I can't wait for somebody to come and help me with my music or make me, or I can't be somebody I'm not, because then what's the point of doing music? So then I said, okay, I'm just going to do this. And if one person likes it, fine, and I'm just going to keep doing this. and enjoy it, enjoy the journey, and not worry so much about, you know, what people may think or deem as a normal song or normal, you know, style of song, you know, because at the end of the day, it's like it's art to me. It's you know, so it's not so much I'm waiting for a Grammy or anything like that. If it comes, cool, but I'm really just trying to do what God told me to do and what I'm doing, you know, and let out my art so other people can hopefully get inspired to bring out their art.
Exactly. That's perfect. And then when it comes to your music, have you received musical training? And if so, like how many, what was that journey? And then about how many hours of practice are you able to put in per week?
Well, you know what? I started when I went to Woodside High School of Performing Arts, and that's when I took advanced choir and advanced acting. And I was able to learn a lot about honing my voice and figuring things out, because before I went there, it was just raw talent, you know, it was more raw. Yes. But when I went to Woodside High School of Performing Arts, it just, you know, of course you went to choir every day. So you were, you know, I basically was, you know, an hour a day practicing, you know, when I went to, you know, to choir or I went to acting classes. So I learned so much. And at the time, you know, you're just like, okay, this is just choir, you know, because you're singing music. You normally, some of the music was like, okay, some old school music or like a old school, like, I don't know, like the music we sung was just not so much exciting, but it was basically helping you hone your skills, and I was learning a lot, and I was taking it in. And then after that, I just kept practicing what I learned from high school. So I said, and I've had some training too after high school. Like I worked with some vocal coaches, and I might have did a month training, and then I would go home and just practice myself. And what I've learned that most was when I met a producer that worked with Mariah Carey one time when I was 21 years old, and he said, the best practice is singing every day. Just going on your mic, recording yourself, listen to it, sing it again, record yourself. He said, that's how you get better. So I started doing that. I just kept doing that, and I just kept learning who I was as a singer instead of trying to be let me be what the society's used to. So I just started figuring out my way, and so now I'm just kind of I feel like every day you're still learning to get better. So I think every week I'm still practicing in different ways. I don't think much. I do record, but I'm not like recording every day, but I do I might, before I go to bed, I'm singing a song, I'm putting it in my iPad, I'm recording it, and I'm listening and trying to improve, because I feel like every day you're improving on things and honing your chops. So yeah, that's what I do now. So I would say, you know, about 2 hours a week I'm actually practicing and stuff, and sometimes, you know, work get in the way, but like I do practice as much as I can.
Yes, wonderful. And then what books helped you on your journey?
You said what helped me on my journey?
Yes, I'm sorry, what books helped you on your journey? What books?
Alchemist.
Can you hear it?
The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. That was one of the first books that just blew my mind. Like it was just about law of attraction and a journey, like everything in life is speaking to you and telling you something in a way. Like if you're aware, if you're self-aware enough, like everything that you want, there's an answer around the corner for it. And it might be from just, you might watch the movie and get the answer, but everything is connected to what you really want. Like the universe conspires to help you make it. And when I saw that, I was like, whoa. I started to learn that mindset is everything. Yes. And I was like, okay. And then I read Russell Simmons' book, Do You. I read that when I was probably 19 years old or 20, whenever that book came out. It was so long ago, but he was talking about the industry and how a lot of the most famous artists you love are in the room crying at night because they're not singing or rapping about what they really want to do. They're not really singing and rapping about what they believe in. And so I learned a lot. I said, well, wow, I don't want to be rich and crying in the corner all the time. I would like to at least have peace of mind as far as the choice I made. But yeah, I was mind blown by that book because I thought that at the time at 1920 that, okay, they have it all, they're good, you know, but that's not the case. You know, they're trying to fit in. And so that book really taught me a lot about the music industry, and The Alchemist kind of taught me a lot about life. And there's this, I read a lot of books, but those two stood out to me right now. And the Game of Life, and how to play it. That's one of the other books, Florence Scovel Shinn. I might be saying her name wrong, but that was one of the best books ever. It was like the puzzle, or the map to life. And I was like, that was one of the best books. It's like a handbook that you just open up every now and then to understand, you know, to keep your mind where it's supposed to be. That was one of the best books ever.
Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, so we have 3 books: The Alchemist, Russell Simmons' Do You, and The Game of Life. So those,
yep.
I'm an avid reader. I know there are lots of avid readers, so we have 3 new books to pick up.
Yes.
Okay. Recommended by Sequoia. Yes. Okay, and then the next one is, what do you think about dating apps? I think I should say dating apps.
Yeah, dating apps. I think that there's a big conversation around dating apps right now, especially when COVID happened. A lot of people are lonely, you know, how to connect with people and stuff. And then now after COVID, it's like people are still on dating apps. And I don't think dating apps are the only thing you need to do. I do think you still need to, not saying go into a club or something, but still go to places that frequent the type of men you're looking for. And I think that helps. But I do are still essential, because you're not out, and then you might be out and that person may not, might not walk up to you, or you might not walk up to them. So I think dating apps do help, but I do think that the pool of people in there have changed a lot since it was 6-7 years ago. A lot has changed on the apps. Like, it's not as many suitors that are like quality like it used to be, but I still think it's essential to have, so you can still, I still think that it's essential, because it's like, how are you going to meet? You just people at Home Depot or walking down the street. It might take longer. So I think you need to do both.
Excellent advice. And then I will have to ask, I'm going backwards here a little bit to
no, you're fine.
You're being an entertainer. Is there anyone in your family that can sing as well, or that is a creative like you are?
You know what? Uncle Junie, he's a very good painter. He's like the Basquiat of some sort. He's definitely an abstract painter. I would call him an abstract painter. He's very talented in how he his art. So, just amazing. And my mom's a good painter as well. Like, she can look at a apple and paint it, like just like apple. So, yeah, I got those. So I probably got some creative juice from them.
Okay, wonderful. What I meant, I said singers. I said sing. Were you able to hear me?
So no singers. I don't know why I think about
singers.
these
Okay.
names, but
no, that's okay. But because it goes, the our connection goes in and out just a little bit. So, so I can tell.
Okay.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
So,
okay.
Yes, I can. And then, so the question was just, are there other singers in the family? But the fine artist, they account for being creatives as well. But your vocal ability is outstanding. So I was just seeing if there was anyone else in your family who can sing as well.
But what, come to think of it, I forgot that on my dad's side of family back in the day, there used to be a band called the Crumps, and my last name is Crump, right? Because my stage name is Sequoia Blue, but my last name is Crump. So there was a group in Richmond, Virginia, that was called the Crumps, and my grandma, rest in peace, she told me about them, and so I may have got it from the Crumps too. I just thought about that. I don't know why I almost forgot about the Crumps band.
Wonderful. So they're a band, the Crumps. What a cute last name, Crumps.
Yeah.
Okay.
I never used to like my last name, but now I'm cool with it.
This is so adorable. Okay, so that's wonderful to know. Let me see. We're doing excellent time. We have actually about like 10 more minutes left. And so
Okay.
I do want to I had a good one here. Where's it? My questions here. Glee, how do you get over stage fright or the fear of showing like who you are as a creative person or as a singer, a podcaster?
Ooh.
How do you get over fear factor?
Oh man, that's a really good question. Like, you know, I had stage fright since I was a kid. And I didn't even know I had podcast fright until I got to it. I was like, oh my God, I have podcast fright too? Like, I'm just talking. But when I was,
Yes.
it took me years to get over stage fright and podcast fright. It took me till I was 30, and I'm 34 now. I just turned 34. It took
Yes.
me until I was 30, and I did perform in my 20s. I performed at different bars. I performed on a cruise ship. I worked on a cruise ship. I just couldn't stay on the cruise ship. I couldn't stay on the boat past. Thought I could, but I can't. I'd done things, but I was scared out of my mind, and I felt like even though nobody could tell, I felt like it took away from me being in the moment and putting out the best of myself. So I do think that one thing that helped me get over that stage fright and that podcast fright, which I think never goes away. You're going to get a little antsy, but the fact that you just get out there and just start doing it is that no one knows everything and everyone's still learning. And at the end of the day, art is subjective. So if someone doesn't like what you're doing, that doesn't mean that this million people, you know, won't like it. You know, you got a million people that will like it. You got a million people that won't. But at the end of the day, you're being true to yourself and being authentic. And I think that should take precedence over the art itself or who, you know, what you believe, like punk rock music. I'm not a big fan of punk rock, but I respect punk rock music. I still think that they're artists. So I think that, I think getting over that was just like me getting over it was saying, be authentic to yourself and just enjoy the ride. Just be in tune with yourself. Like, don't be in there thinking about, oh my God, what is Mary thinking? Oh my God, what is this person? Like, that will mess it up. Like, it messes up the flow. So I kind of just, one of the things I do is just tell myself, stay in tune, you know, and I think that can help other people if they can just stay in tune. Because I know a lot of people right now that want to do podcasting but are scared. I'm just like, you know, you just got to do it because life is short and just stay in tune with yourself and you can't lose.
Wonderful. That's wonderful advice. And then that's it. How do you do your marketing? Like what marketing tools have you,
good question.
do you utilize?
So one of the main things I've learned is that when I was an artist, and that's when I used to just be an artist and nothing else, like because I didn't know I had other talents till I turned like 25, 26. One of the things was I didn't know marketing, and that's why a lot of artists have to go to a label because they don't know marketing. So I said, I have to learn this whole digital marketing thing, and I probably started learning around 27, 28 years old. I just started taking more courses now. And now I'm seeing a lot of things, you know, reaching a lot more people that I wouldn't have reached before. And it gives you this kind of advantage and this kind of courage and this kind of strength because now you don't have to depend on the label. You can say, okay, let me go ahead and put money. You know, you do have to have money to invest into your music or into anything you're doing. If you want it to be your main job, like you've got to invest into it. You got to study marketing. But I think marketing is essential for an independent artist. I'm just going to say artists, even for a business owner, but at a basic level, artists have to get their target audience and they have to know how to market to them because, and that comes with money. A lot of artists don't have the money, but you sometimes two things can be true at the same time. Sometimes we have to do something else along with the music so we can fund the music, you know, and I think I had to learn that. So I think it's important that that artists, you know, out there, anybody listening, please learn marketing. There's free courses on Google. There's free courses on Facebook now, how to do your own marketing. So you don't have to pay someone $3,000 to do it, or you don't have to like not do anything at all and miss out on getting people that can support you, you know? So yeah, exactly. I think, that's where I'm at now. And I definitely see a huge change.
Wonderful. Excellent, excellent, excellent advice again. And then the last but not well, second to last question, I apologize. How
No,
how
you're fine.
do how do we how do we become how can I or anyone become an independent artist?
Ooh, that's a good question. So here's the easy answer. Put it out there. I read once somewhere that once you put something out, you're already that thing. So if you're an author and you put a book out, and even if you didn't know how to sell it, you didn't know what to do, you put it out. You're actually an author. So the same thing with singers. Like if you want to do music, like the gatekeepers are not in charge anymore. So at this point, you can get your own studio now because the technology has advanced. You can record on your iPad now. You can buy a cool mic and plug it to your Mac or your Windows and record and get the right software. I mean, there's so many things you can do, and I would say just start it. And don't be scared, like, if you don't have somebody around you to, like, tell you how to do stuff. Just go if you're innate. If you're true, if you're an artist to the core, it's going to come out. Things are going to come out. If you need to find a writer, then you can find writers that can help you. But put it out there. Do your music. Just keep putting it out there. Keep putting different songs out. And just enjoy the ride. But yeah, everything is, we're at an advantage right now versus how it was back in before I was born, you know, but in the 90s, like you can be your own gatekeeper. It's really interesting.
Excellent, excellent. And then speaking of songwriting, do you write your own songs? Are you a lyricist?
Yes, I wrote all of my own songs. All my songs were written by me. And
excellent.
It's like, it is not that I wasn't open to other writers, but, you know, when you're a solo person and, you know, you just, either you're going to write it or you're just not. And a lot of singers or a lot of other artists don't write their own music. So a lot of times it's like, you know, you either got to pay someone, you got to find someone. And at the end of the day, it's like, I was like, I'm just going to write it myself. Because at the end, you know, I was like, if I meet someone cool that can maybe sometimes work with me, great. But I'm writing it all myself right now.
Oh, that's so outstanding. Absolutely outstanding.
Thank you.
And then you're welcome. And also because this is Coffee Chat Show, I always ask my guests what kind of coffee they like, the brand, if they do drink coffee or tea, or their favorite hot beverage.
Ooh, I love it. So I am an avid coffee drinker. Did I try to stop drinking coffee? I
Finally,
did, because
yes.
only when I tried to stop. But I can't stop drinking coffee. So I love a dark roast coffee. I love a strong dark roast, and I like French vanilla creamer. And that's all I put in my coffee. And I like George Orman's coffee. And I like African coffee, like Cameroon coffee. I like Ethiopian coffee. I like Dominican coffee. I think it's Costa Rica coffee. I forgot what it was called, but it's Colombian coffee. Okay. So I love coffee. I'm like a coffee connoisseur. I said one day in my life before I pass away, I might own my own coffee. I don't know, but I love coffee.
You will. Yes, you will. You just put it out there in the universe. Oh,
I sure did.
Okay. Okay, we have 90 seconds, so I do want to thank you so very much for this enlightening interview. You did, I don't want to tell you how you did, but you have just warmed up my heart and the entire day. I'm so looking forward for my audience to hear from you. And anytime you want to talk some more or come on, I'm definitely inviting you back on for next year, whenever you have time. Whenever you have time.
Saturday mornings I try to keep open for podcast interviews, and Friday evenings. I try to keep it open.
And I'll reach out. I'll definitely reach out to you. And I want to thank you. And I have to say goodbye, unfortunately. But thank you, Sequoia Blue.
And thank you. This was great.
Welcome.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure. Bye for now.
Bye. Thanks, everyone.
Bye. Bye. Okay, bye, everybody. That was Sequoia. She's so lovely and outstanding. And thank you for listening to Coffee Chat with Camille.